Are players starting to lose confidence in Kyle Shanahan? Again, let's go to the post-game press conferences, which you may have seen. Fred Warner, after the game, as angry as I've ever seen him. And again, like there were games that they lost this year that mattered, that counted. This one didn't even matter or count. He was fuming. And after the game, I've never heard him talk about, say, unprompted, what he won't talk about. He's out, he'll answer any question in like generic coach speak with a smile on his face. Not today. He says, I'm not talking big picture. I'm not talking offense. All I can say is that we got to win the game on defense. We got to take the ball away to win. If we're not taking the ball away, we're not going to win. Again, football players talking code. What does that mean? I'm not talking big picture. Why? Because I don't have anything nice to say about it. I'm not talking offense. Why? Because I don't have anything nice to say about it. All I'm going to say is the defense needs to take the ball away, force turnovers for us to win. Translation, our offense is so pitiful, we literally have to get the ball back for them and set them up in scoring position. That's what he said, essentially, after the game. Not talking big picture, not talking offense. As in, my interpretation, hey, I'm starting to lose confidence in our future. Our offense sucks every week. 17 points in this game. What? 6 points against the Rams, 38 against the freaking Bears, 10 against the Bills, 10 against the Packers, 17 against the Seahawks. For their last 5 games, they haven't cracked 18 points. That's pitiful. So, look at all the things that are starting to pile up for Kyle Shanahan. He lost the Super Bowl and his players know it. I don't know that they've even forgiven him for that. Everyone knows he blew the Super Bowl. It was his fault. He knows it. We know it. They know it. You mismanaged McCaffrey this year. You mismanaged Greenlaw this year. Your offense falls apart. Your quarterback isn't good anymore. It's not like Kyle Shanahan's ever been much of a leader. He doesn't exactly inspire players to run through a wall for him. The reason he's had this team for so long believing in him is because of his offense. They feel that he's a wizard and that his scheme is great and he's a great play caller and he can get people open and score points. Well, at this point, do they still have that kind of belief in him? If his scheme isn't working, if his play calling's no good and his offense isn't scoring points, and he's jeopardizing the careers of important players on offense, on defense, at what point is he going to lose his team? Or has he lost it already? I wonder. Is this a team that looks like they've bought into their coach at any point this season? Is it possible he lost the team when he lost the Super Bowl? I don't know. But the whole conversation about Kyle Shanahan's future, should he stay, should he go, it's usually focused on what we think of him. What do his players think of him? I think they believed in him a year ago. On December 22nd, 2023, I bet they believed in him. But right now, after how they lost the Super Bowl this time, after how they've gone through the entire season, Kyle is now 6-10 in his last 16 games, counting the Super Bowl. He has the most losses in franchise history, surpassing Bill Walsh, who set that record in 10 seasons. Kyle did it in 8, less than 8, fewer than 8. Dad, who's watching, hopefully. As you see Kyle Shanahan, as everyone is more exposed to him, it's 8 years. Most losses in franchise history, 4th losing season, 0-43 in games where he's down by 8 or more points in the 4th quarter. Like, he's not coming back. He is a front-running choke artist. I'm sorry, the results are in. We've seen so many games. This guy has coached more games than George Seifert, which is a shame. Kind of embarrassing. It seems like the Niners are probably going to bring it all back next year. Tell themselves they had injuries and bad luck. Don't overreact. Bring it all back next year. But my question is, how is that going to... How is that going to work? Why will anything be different? The scheme will be the same. Is he going to change his offensive scheme? Is he going to change his offensive philosophy? Is he going to suddenly become more creative? I'm honestly asking someone to explain to me why things will be better next year. Will Trent Williams play all season? Will Christian McCaffrey play all season? Will Dre Greenlaw be here all season? Like, if all you can tell me is that the Niners will be healthier next year, I'm like, why do you feel that way? They have a healthy season like one every 4 years. All these guys will be older next year. Greenlaw will be more likely to play 17 games next year. You think Greenlaw's playing 17 games next year? You think McCaffrey's playing 17 games next year? Trent Williams? I don't. Is Kittle going to be better next year than he was this year? That'd be tough. He was pretty great this year. I think as these players realize that the Super Bowl window is over and that they need to like rebuild, maybe with a new quarterback, I think they might be looking at their coach like, you know what, man, you may not be the guy to do it. You may not be the guy to rebuild it. You may not be the guy to lead us. I mean, who's the next guy he's going to throw out there in a meaningless game before he's ready to play and get hurt? That's serious stuff. Once you start messing around with franchise cornerstones' careers, people notice. A little bit. Dave Barclay says, gee, you wake up every day and piss excellence. No, you do, Dave. Caesar the QB room says, Cooper Rush or Purdy? The fact that that's a question. It's Nick for real says, Moody is booty. That rhymes. Caesar the QB room says, sign Sam and Ben Johnson 2025. That's going to be expensive. Dave Barclay says, Brick earning his rookie contract. That's his value. Brick. Dustin the Gale says, Jim Tom Sula's record was with SF was 5-11. If things keep going this way this season, do we finally get to stop hearing people say we can't fire Kyle? What, you want Jim Tom Sula back? He's having a very Jim Tom Sula-esque season. Dave Barclay says, has Lyle changed at all in 9 years, pre-Niners too? No. That's the thing about Kyle. He hasn't changed since he was in Washington. He's essentially been the same guy since he was in his 20s. And the thing about Kyle, I saw people talking about this on Twitter. He's very knowledgeable about his dad's scheme. Probably very knowledgeable about football in general, considering his dad was an NFL head coach, been exposed to it his whole life. But is he what you would call intelligent? Do you think he would have a high IQ? Do you think he scored high on his SATs? Do you think he got good grades in high school and college? Beyond that, emotional intelligence, emotional IQ. Does he seem like he scores high on that test? Or is he kind of stuck in adolescence? When you see him like buddying up with players, is that because he's sort of on their emotional level? I don't know. Something to think about. Colin Anthony says, feel for guys like Kittle, Warner, Greenlaw, etc. Me too. Dustin the Gale says, if we change regimes, what do we have to lose at this point? 6-11 seasons? You might actually fast forward the rebuilding process. Stephen Pryor says, there was a Niners game on today? Yeah, and they lost. I had a lot of fun playing pickleball today, says Stephen Pryor. That's a fun game. BS Report says, Brock isn't him. Niners need a franchise quarterback. That has to be priority one. With a high pick, quarterback has to be considered in round one. Purdy, even at $40 million, is pointless. Had him at $1 million this year, what will be different next season? I agree. Purdy is worth $20 million at best. Yikes, says Niner Gang 808. Devin Smith says, yes, Grant Cohn, he lost the team during the Super Bowl. That's why players are wanting their money now. We never win with Kyle Shanahan, period. I think that's possible. He blows overtime. His offense stinks. He scapegoats the defensive coordinator who did a good job. And all of a sudden, everyone on the team wants money. Maybe because they realize, hey, sacrificing for the team isn't going to work because this guy, this chucklehead over here, Jeremy Price says, finally, we aren't blaming anyone other than Kyle. It only took 5 years. Yeah, I've been giving Kyle a pass for 5 years, man. Rodney Heron says, Kyle has done what to show we can improve in 2025? Quest for sixth revenge tour incoming. Kyle is if Jerry Jones was a coach. Ooh. Dave Barclay says, Lyle for sure, run it back, guys. I know we're all old, but it's 2050 and Debo, it's your time to shine. Debo, can you hear me? Huh? Kittle, can you make it to the middle? Come on, guys, we can do this. Abu Marco, 23, says, it's been years since I said out loud at the TV, wow, Kyle's in his bag. What bag? There's no bag. The BS report says Niners need a quarterback good enough to overcome Kyle Shanahan. Good luck. Joey Mellon says the Niners blow. Whew. Andrew says, I told y'all 6-11 a few weeks ago after Green Bay. You did. Joseph for real says, if Kyle wants his aura back, he needs to set boundaries. He's the judge that'll consider the jury, but won't get lost in the sauce. If he's realer than real, he'll consider all you've said. What, like SIBO? Realer than real? Like SIBO? Is he? I don't think he's realer than real. SIBO's realer than real. Rafael Flores says the offense has not been playing complimentary football, and the defense is tired of carrying the freaking load. This offense needs a revamp. No more motion-based and scheme logistics. We need to go back to the basics with a new quarterback. So fire Kyle. I'm with it. Graham says the Niners should try to sign Sam Darnold this summer. Whew. Dave Barclay says, pray Lyle has nothing to do with draft ever again. Here's the thing with signing Darnold. You don't think Kyle messed that up too? He's not Kevin O'Connell. Debo isn't Justin Jefferson. You really think Sam Darnold will come to the Niners and play as well as he's playing now? Because he won't.